In this video, I'm going to show you or take you on a deep dive into HighLevel's courses feature, basically from start to finish, showing you how to create a course, all the different courses features available to you, how it all integrates with the client portal, etc. If you have not already, I recommend you watch my previous video in this little mini series on how to get your client/membership portal set up in HighLevel, which is pretty important because even at the very beginning of that video, if you do nothing but watch the first 2 minutes, you're going to get all the information that you need. So be sure you watch that one before you dive in, and be sure when you get a chance to check out the last video in this series about communities in HighLevel so that you can see how it closes the loop and all of these things really come together. But all right, no more delays. Let's dive in and learn everything there is to learn about courses inside of HighLevel. All right, to get started, we're going to go into the memberships courses section of HighLevel. By default, you're sent to this little let's get started dashboard that kind of just shows you how many members in the last 30 days, sales, opt-ins, checkouts, that type of thing. I find this marginally helpful, but our first stop is going to be courses and settings. Now, by default, the domain setup, email settings, and app settings, all three are the same. We do have one difference now, and that is the site details section. Now, it is a little bit strange that this section here is available under courses, or at least you find it under courses settings, because this actually has more to do with your whole portal site in general. For example, our subdomain members.marketingfunnels.live, we can give it a title. We can call it like Convology members area or academy, whatever we wanted to call it. Under advanced, we could drop in some custom code again. I believe this shares the custom code with the other section that we looked at previously. But we can set up a logo for the favicon, things we've technically been able to do up to this point already in the other section. So I'm not quite sure why this section exists, but I wanted to point it out as the only different area that you can play around in. Now, lastly, a setting that I think is actually pretty buried here, but under builder settings, which I don't understand, you can see this like download option for original video. I always just turn that off and then I click save. Now that's it for all of our settings. We're going to dive in now and start creating courses. To get started, we have to create a product. So courses are considered products in the HighLevel ecosystem. They've given some predefined course templates that you can use. We can take a look at these really quickly. I'll take a look at like a sprint course. So if I click start building, I'll just put like a demo next to this and click create product. All that those templates are going to do, by the way, there was the one that said start from scratch, but all of those templates are going to do is give you this kind of like starting point for your course, for a welcome section, lesson 1, what, why, how. This might be maybe a little bit helpful to you. We'll leave it in here because, hey, it's great for a demo video for me to have some content to go on. But really, you could have just gone create a product, start from scratch, and you could have just chosen to build your own, and it would have just given you a module and a lesson to start with. For the sake of having more content inside of my demo here, I will just go ahead and create a sprint membership and a marathon course just to have the content in here. And you can see, again, this one's a little bit different. It's got modules and things like that. And then I'll import one more, which is the marathon. There we go. Just a little bit longer than the other one. So now we have our 3 different courses done. Let's say I wanted to change the name on this one like I do. I'll just hover over it. Don't click on that, but just hover over it and you can edit details. We'll just add our little demo flag here. And while we're on this screen, this is under the details section of the course where we can make some edits. We can add a description. You can add a product thumbnail. The dimensions on this are just traditional 16:9. They recommend 1280 by 720. That's the same dimensions of like a YouTube thumbnail, 1920 by 1080. It scales all the way up to 4K. But you can upload images. Like right here, we can say upload a new file. Choose a file and then browse to the file that we want to upload. I'll go ahead and add an image that I actually have for one of my existing courses and click upload. Awesome. We now have our image there. So now we can choose some customization for the instructor. Let's say you didn't want to call yourself an instructor. You could say taught by or whatever. We'll leave it instructor. And then I could upload an image for my avatar, so to speak. This one needs to be a square. So whatever size you choose to upload. We'll upload that square image, and favicon, again, if you want to, you can upload the favicon for this particular product. I won't worry about that right now. And again, more advanced JavaScript stuff that you can insert, but I think that looks good enough for going through the details on this. I will go ahead and click save as we progress now to the customize section. The customize section lets you choose for this product, and I'm going to use those terms interchangeably, product and course, whether you want to use the classic, New York, new, the new layout, or their neoclassic, which is like their, I think this is their original, but they're bringing customizations to this platform soon. We can choose one that we like. I don't like New York. I feel like this one breaks down your different module post category sections into different pieces. I don't love that. I think I like Classic the most just because it's simple. Neoclassic's pretty good too. But let's just choose Classic and click Customize. I feel like this is the cleanest and honestly the most straightforward. Reminds me a lot of like Kajabi. On the left-hand side, we have our layout where we have our theme settings, and we also have this sections section where we can update the header. We have all of our text options, our button, and things like that that you can upload. I'll let you play around with all of those, but that's where you would make those edits. For lesson progress, you can adjust the progress counter, background color here, stuff like that. Again, all of these different options are available to you to adjust if you wish. So if you wanted to, you could adjust different theming of different sections, however you wish to do it. We'll go ahead and leave all of those alone just for the sake of time on this video, and no need to dive in and tweak every one of these settings. They're all pretty straightforward. The only thing I will say, I did change this one already. Like if I wanted to change this color back to my brand blue, I'll enter in my brand blue, I'll click OK. You actually won't see that change on the front end until you hit Save Changes. Then it'll save your theme and it'll refresh. And sometimes there's like a 5-second delay before you see the color update. That time was fairly instantaneous. So just bear that in mind as you're working through this. But that's where you make all the edits to the colors. Let's go back to the layout though. And from here, we can change the main theme. For example, like our primary color, we could change to our brand blue, and our secondary color, our other brand color. I'll go ahead and move my logo into the hero section just for some play there. You can keep or you can change this font. They don't have all of the fonts available that I would have wanted to have, but they've got a lot of them. They don't have Inter, which is actually the font that I use, but let's say I wanted to use Roboto instead. I could do a search for Roboto to see if they had it, and they do. I'll select Roboto, and then for secondary font, maybe I'll choose like Open Sans, like that. And then I'll click Save Changes. It'll do its refresh, and you'll see the big change. And see, honestly, this is one of those cases where I really don't love the change that I made. I would probably actually flip these two. I would change this one to be more of the secondary color that I normally use to make that the primary. And then my secondary, I'll make as my primary. I'll save those changes. And even there, they're not looking perfect. Honestly, I don't love the way that they're looking anyway. And that's just a really good example of how the default colors don't look great out of the box. So that's when you would want to go into the sections, and you would, for example, want to go to hero, and I could say, okay, I like the font for the title being Roboto. The color looks fine to me, but the description does not look good as that color at all. So maybe I'll change it to be the same color as the headline, give those changes a refresh, and that already looks better. And then again, the button, you could say, okay, you know what, I actually do want the background color on this one to be my brand blue, but I want the text on it to actually be white. There you go. That's already looking a little bit better. But you have those granular controls once you customize more of the macro coloring. Some things that I wish they would bring in, and I think they will eventually do this, but I wish they would bring in the brand colors that you can set inside of HighLevel. I feel like those would be super useful when configuring this area. And I also wish that it brought in more of the Google fonts, like Inter, for example, is available in Google Fonts. I wish it was available here for me to choose. All right, so now at the top here, we've got product and lesson. If I click on lesson, it's going to bring up a very similar looking section for editing purposes, but now I'm in the actual lesson itself. And again, this looks very Kajabi, which is why I think I like this layout the most. It is just a very clean and tested layout. So clearly you're going to have to go in and make changes if you are going to make a lot of tweaking, but you have those options available to you. Things like the next lesson button, all of that, tweak them to your heart's content. But something I will point out inside of the layout theme settings, notice how it didn't bring over my theming from the previous one. That's because if I go back to the product section, I can actually save my theme. And now it saved the theme as a location theme, meaning it saved it to my actual HighLevel sublocation. And I can go over to the lesson section now, and I can actually apply a theme to it. So what that did was that applied the theme that we had saved previously, and it applied it to this. I will point out that maybe if I give this a refresh, it did not have my actual theme colors saved there under layout theme. Yeah, even coming back in here, it actually did apply my colors, but it did not change them over here on the left-hand side. So just bear that in mind, that you can set an individual theme per, I guess we'll call them section or category like product and lesson. But if you applied your theme from the previous section, just be aware that's how it's going to be. But okay, I think this looks good for now. Let's go ahead and go back to our gallery. We're going to stick with the classic one, which we have selected. If I click into that now, you can see I'm previewing it as an admin. So here's that course. Welcome to the course. I'll go ahead and click on it. You can see we're brought in here. Let's go ahead and make an edit to this lesson though, maybe add a video to the top. So I'm going to come back into courses and products. I'm going to hover over the 3 dots here, or I'll just go ahead and click on it. And that's going to take us directly into the outline section, which is where I want it to be. Now in our outline, we briefly took a look at this. This is where we're going to edit all of our lessons, add more, that type of thing. If you want to add a new category, you can go to product structure and click this plus and click create category. Here under introduction, which is my module, if I click the plus, you can see that I can add a lesson, a subcategory, and an assessment. And we'll return to that in a second there for our assessments. But let's go ahead and go into our welcome to the course lesson. Let's click edit on that with the pencil. And we're brought into what I honestly think is a very nice lesson editing experience. We have our WYSIWYG editor right here at our fingertips. We have the option to add a lesson thumbnail, which I'll just go ahead and do because I think that makes it easier to kind of see all the features here. Again, it's the same resolution that you'd upload like a YouTube thumbnail. It's just a 1920 by 1080 or 1280 720. We'll add that in. That looks good. You can add lesson files. I'll just add some of those so we can see what that looks like. I'm actually just going to attach the same file that I used for my lesson thumbnail. But now what we can do is we can add a video or a audio into HighLevel. Now, what's really cool about each of these individual lessons is that it does not require you to have external video storage. You can actually upload your videos right into HighLevel itself. And if I remember correctly, I think I read somewhere that there's like a 4 GB limit on the video itself, which is actually quite large for like a lesson video. But I'm going to upload a video just to kind of give us the full experience here. All right, I actually just dropped in the intro that I made for this video, unedited. I'll go ahead and click upload file, and there it goes. It drops it right into the player, and you can either generate a thumbnail or you can replace it by going to the video thumbnail option, and I can upload an image here for the player. I'll just upload the same thumbnail that I've been using for the lessons and the course and have it override the player. Now I want to be thorough here. For the player, you have the option to change the speed. You can drop out for picture-in-picture and make it full screen. Let's go ahead and click save though to apply all of these settings that we've made so far to the lesson. And before we preview it, let's just make sure there's no other changes that we want to make. We can come down here. We can enter in any content we want from the WYSIWYG editor. I think it's pretty cool that you can reference custom values from HighLevel, which I go over in other videos, particularly in my course. And then you can add tables, which give you a lot of good options. You can embed other media. So if you didn't want to use HighLevel's video player and you had something like BunnyNet, you use BunnyStream, you could drop it in there and have it be right at the top. That would work just fine. But there you go. So we saved it. Let's go ahead and preview our lesson. There we go. We have the course that we've created with our video. And if I press the play button, there I am. You can see the lesson here with the lesson thumbnail. I really think you want to add lesson thumbnails given that they are visible here. Module Navigator. There's our resources for this particular lesson. It automatically assigned an icon because it was an image. Info about the instructor that I've added there. And then the ability to mark it as complete with our text that we had in there from our WYSIWYG editor. All right, coming back into our product or course details area, I want to cover just a few other sections here. We have the comment section where you can enable comments for the course. So when somebody posts a comment, you can choose to make it public, instructor only, or both, basically letting the user decide whether their comment is public or instructor only. I kind of like instructor only. I thought that's pretty novel. And then you can choose whether you want comments to be enabled, hidden, or locked for each individual lesson. And I thought this was a super easy interface to do that. Now, lastly, we can go to the certificate section and we can attach a certificate and we can create different certificate templates. Certificates are created under membership certificates, where you can create a new certificate. Let's create a certificate from a template. Let's go with something simple like this. Customize it however we want. Each of these individual pieces are customizable. You can change the image, drop in some pre-made things. If certificates are something you really, really want, you have this ability. We'll put demo cert to come in. Let's go ahead and save it. Let's go back. So now we have our demo cert made. If I come back into our courses into our products, come back into our course here, click on it, and I can go to certificates. Now I can attach my certificate for my demo cert and issue it upon completion of the course. And there you go, just about as easy as it can possibly get. Now for offers, offers are how you basically sell your course. So up at the top under courses, again, there's this offers section here. This just basically tells you what this course/product is included in for offers. To create our offer, we'll go up at the top to courses, then we'll go to offers, and we're going to, I actually already created one. I'll go ahead and leave that there, but let's create an offer, and we'll create this one for, I think we were editing our marathon course offer. But here's where you would basically attach the product or products that you want inside of your offer. So if this were like, let's actually change this. Let's call this my all access pass. I'll just add all of my courses in here. And when somebody purchases this offer, it's like a bundle. Now, I don't have on this particular business a Stripe account set up, so this would be a free offer, and you can put payment mode into test mode. If you enable your Stripe account, you can choose whether it's paid or free, and then you can click create. All right, now we're brought into the details section of our offer, and this is where I think HighLevel does a phenomenal job taking it an extra step beyond other course platforms that I've used like Thrive Apprentice or even Circle. So here we can edit the details of this offer. You can see here I don't have one-time or recurring enabled simply because I don't have Stripe enabled on this test business. But I could put something in there like free course, click save, and you can see there that it says free course rather than, if I just delete that and hit save, 0 USD, I could say free workshop or whatever I wanted to call it. I'll go ahead and put free course in there. And that's how you would create like lead magnets with your courses, by the way, because in workflows, under automation workflows, you can create automations that grant access to products and courses. And that would be a great way to do it here. So you can do a full description here. You can do advanced again, just they kill you with the options here. You can choose again to add more products. You have all of your products listed here that you can click to remove or add if you want to. You can choose when the offer for access begins. So you can say, yeah, you can have access to this, but for 50 days if you wanted to. And then you could also say you can't access this until a certain date. So that'd be a great way to launch a product and then give early access to it. You can upload an image. We'll just go with this again, upload an image for our offer. And then we can choose to publish our offer and click save. And now if I click edit checkout, this is going to take me to the checkout for this specific offer. Now, in this case, this was a free product and I didn't put any description for it down here, but you can go to offer details where I can change the title, the banner. Again, they kill you with all the options, but I can add extra info like collect their address, phone number. Let's hit save and you'll see that appear on the right. So if you were giving away a free course and let's say you wanted their phone number so that you could do some like SMS, you could do that. And then you could add, of course, a service agreement, drops it right in. And if this were a paid course, this would be a payment form powered by Stripe on the right-hand side. So quite a robust option here to be able to sell your courses or give them away for free here. And then if you wanted to, you could click get link. And if I went into here, there you go. That's what it would look like on the front end. And then coming back into offers here, you can preview the offer, get a direct link to the offer. And again, we can edit this because I want to come back in and show you. And again, this goes back to that going one step further. We have upsells that we can add into our offer for this product or course. So I could add an upsell and I could say, I want this to be a one-click upsell. You can either just have them be a one-click upsell that gets offered only if the product is purchased or only at the time of purchasing the product. And this other one called an in-app upsell is the ability to buy a product as a bundle directly on the My Library page. Now, I thought that the best example of this, or an easy example of this, was just right in the HighLevel documentation. You can see here that after you purchase the course, you can see that there are locked bundles here. You have the option from the library page itself, like the all courses section, to be able to come in and purchase these as offers that they can take after they make that initial purchase. So it's just a really nice way to like chain products together. For us though, we're just gonna leave it as like a one-click upsell. I thought that was pretty easy. And then I made a demo one to use as our upsell. I'll just add that in there. And from here, you have all the same options, right? You can add everything you want, a video, an image at the top. So you can have like that video sales letter type thing. all that fancy stuff you can add in right here. If it were a paid product, you could add payment details and just click checkout or buy now, and then, or no thanks, right? Take me to my purchase. And then that would give you the option to create a one-click upsell right inside of a course funnel. So I thought that was really, really cool. Oh, and by the way, although you can only have one offer of an upsell inside of a course or an offer for a product course, you can still add the in-app upsell, but you're only allowed to have one click upsell per. So you can stack all those down here. All right, so that's the offers section, and offers are how you sell products or courses. All right, the last thing that I want to go over inside of HighLevel's courses are the assessments. So we'll come into here and we'll go to, we saw this before, click the plus sign here and click add assessment. We'll give this a title. We'll call this our demo assessment. You can choose whether it's an assignment or a quiz. We'll go through both of those. We'll actually do demo assignment on this one, and then we'll do a demo quiz. Here we can edit our assignment, and you can tell the person like, what is the assignment? This can be graded or ungraded. You can add instructions. You can upload different templates or things like that for the assignment, and then click save. The user that's taking this, it could say like, this assignment wants you to go outside and touch grass and take a video to prove that you did it. So you would click start assignment. I guess you could put in an answer, I touched grass. And then you would upload your video or whatever it was that you wanted to upload. Click on it, upload your image or video, and then click submit. And then to view the assessments, you can come in here under courses analytics. You can go assessments view, and you're going to see all of the responses for the assessments. All right, let's go back into our course here, back to our products. Let's add the last one, which is our quiz. So we'll add an assessment. We'll call this our demo quiz. We'll choose quiz as our option, click save. And then for here, let's edit our quiz. You can choose whether it requires a passing grade. You could say you've got to get 75% correct. You'll say you passed and you failed. We'll add a question now. So this particular question, we could say as a multiple choice, say what color is grass. We can add a choice and say green. Add another choice and say blue. The correct option was for our green option. And then we can add a second question just to see what this looks like. And we'll just make this a really simple one. All right, our quiz is done. Let's save our quiz and preview it. Really simple quiz maker here. Let's go ahead and click start quiz. And now you can say, okay, what color is grass? Blue. And what color is the sky? Green. And then you could submit it, and obviously I would have gotten those two wrong. And in demo mode, maybe that's like one bit of feedback. I also noticed this as well in the assessment. You can't actually submit it in demo mode, but this would give a little thing that's like, no, the answer, and by the way, this is multi-select, where I could have selected both and say, yeah, there's something called bluegrass, right? Which there is, but the user could select multiple, like select all the colors of the rainbow. They could select them all. And then it would say whether they got it wrong with an explanation. And then at the end, it would say whether they passed or failed based on your percentage. Let's go ahead and take a look now at our client portal. I'm a user, I have access to the course. Down in the top right, I want to go to those dots, which we showed in a previous video. Let's go to courses. I'm previewing this in admin mode now, and there are the 3 courses that I have. It is in my library. So I can go over to the marathon course, for example, and I can see there's that first lesson. I'll go ahead and click on that. There it is, and that's what it looks like for the user. And that is a look at the HighLevel courses feature inside the membership/client portal. Hopefully that was helpful to those of you that are considering whether or not HighLevel would be a good choice for your courses and your kind of membership ecosystem. It's interesting because if you were to look at the courses feature even a year ago, definitely 2 years ago, it would have absolutely not been worth even looking at. But they've made a lot of progress, and they've improved it to the point where I feel like it's better than many, if not most, of the WordPress course options, and it's definitely on its way to being even better based on the updates that they're planning for 2025. And it's really hard to ignore the fact that everything I just showed you is available as part of your HighLevel subscription, which is pretty crazy because if you think about the cost of that compared to Kajabi or just about any other course platform out there, on top of what you're getting with all these other features, that's a crazy deal. And next up in this mini series of the HighLevel membership client portal area, we're going to take a look at the communities feature. So you can check that out inside of my HighLevel playlist.